What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys had a great New Year and a great Christmas. Today, we are finally going to be discussing my top 15, yes, top 15 best movies that I saw in 2022. I will say that the beginning of the year did have me a little bit nervous for what we were going to be getting as far as movies were, and I was like, are we really going to have that many great ones? But I will say the final 3 months, October, November, December, really shot up, and I really loved what we got these last few months. Now, guys, I'm sorry this video is gonna be unedited because I'm still working on trying to figure out how the editing process works, especially for YouTube. But guys, I do own a lot of the movies already, so I will be showing them to you guys like up close. So you guys will get to see that. I don't own every single movie on my list yet because some of them have not released yet, especially the ones in December, which some December releases did make my list, and I have to wait until like March or something like that before I can get them on Blu-ray. So, with all that being said, you guys, there's a top 15 for me, and I chose these 15 because these ones meant the most to me. I had the most time, I had the most fun at the movies with them, and they meant the most to me personally. So, or I had the most fun watching them. So my list is probably not going to match yours. That's how YouTube works. It's how the world works. If you guys want to know, if you guys want to let me know your top favorites of the year, let me know. Comment below and let's get started. I do have some honorable mentions. I only own a couple of them, but I will be listing all of them off. The first uh, honorable mention for me is going to be Jackass Forever. This one was a big surprise for me as far as how good the comedy could get. I did not expect this movie to be as successful as it was. I am a fan of the Jackass movies. I think they're funny. I think they get better as they go along. Jackass 3 was my favorite up until this one, so I do think that this one this is kind of the movie that we needed, especially when movie theaters finally opened back up after the pandemic. So we'll be getting an hopefully this day they said this will be the last one. So if this is the last one, they ended on a pretty good note. So yeah, we have that one. Um, okay, next honorable mention is going to be Marry Me. Normally, I'm not a fan of romantic comedies, but this one really meant something to me because I really like Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez, and I thought their chemistry in this movie was great. So I do recommend you guys checking this one out. Uh, Next up, we have Uncharted. This one is kind of based. It's based off of the Uncharted games, which I have yet to play. I have a PS4 now, so I can play them. I never had a PS4 in my life, so I never got a chance to play them until now. I wish gaming developers would stop releasing games for only one specific console. It's like release a game for everyone, okay? Don't leave some of us out. But yeah, this one, I did think Tom Holland was great as Nathan Drake. I thought Mark Wahlberg was himself, really, but I did think this was a great treasure hunting movie, and I would recommend you guys check it out, especially if you're looking for a very fun time. Another one that I don't have yet is Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. It is a prequel to the famous Jujutsu Kaisen series. It's an anime series that came out over the years. I never saw it up until this point, but I did want to check this one out because this one was a prequel movie, so I knew that it would be an origin story, and I knew I'd be able to get caught up and understand everything. I had a blast with it, and I have yet to get the Blu-ray for it. I hopefully will get it soon, because I hope this is not going to be like Demon Slayer, where I had to wait 9 months for that Blu-ray to come out. It's crazy. Another one we have Nope. Nope. Yeah, I almost read the wrong one. Nope. Not my favorite Jordan Peele movie, but I still had a blast with this one. I do think that the alien aspect of it was pretty cool. That little alien ship in the background. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And I do think that Jordan Peele goes a little bit too far with his metaphors and symbolism in his movies because it kind of ruins the enjoyment a little bit, but I understand why he puts it in there. But trust me, you guys, I will still stick around for all of his movies. I actually prefer Us the most. Get Out was also a good movie, but yeah, to me this was a fun one. So I'd recommend checking it out. Another one is Lightyear. I would recommend Lightyear to you guys. A lot of people say it's controversial because of the the female kissing scene, which I don't know why people are always so controversial about stuff like that. I mean, if you're anti-gay, I don't know what to say to you. But anyway, Lightyear is definitely another one. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, that was another one as well. I'm looking at my laptop down there. That's why I'm looking down here. So just so you guys know that. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, definitely the most heartwarming movie of the year. Made me feel the happiest at the movie theater. I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was very sweet and it's a very, very cute movie. Another one is Violent Night, the Christmas Die Hard movie that came out this year. Definitely recommend that one. That's basically the best movie where they combine Die Hard, Home Alone, and Bad Santa all in one. Loved it. Loved every second of it. I had a blast with that movie. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which is on Netflix right now. Check that one out, you guys, in case you missed it. Um, After that, we have Orphan First Kill. Yep, I already talked about this in um, my Blu-ray haul for last month. So I bought this one last month. Recommend it to you guys. And lastly, I don't have the Blu-ray for this yet, but I'm gonna get it. Terrifier 2. Definitely check that out. One of the biggest success stories in for this year, especially for slashers, because the first one was a very small film that barely anybody saw. This one like skyrocketed, and I do think Art the Clown is now a horror icon with this first movie. So I would highly recommend you guys check that one out. So guys, those are my honorable mentions for best movies of this year. Now we're gonna get into my top 15. I have about, I don't know, 8 of the movies that I got in my top 15 for this year. So let's get started. Number 15 is a film that some of you might maybe have forgotten that came out this year, and I don't think this movie should have earned more money, but I had a blast with it, and that is going to be Ambulance. I had fun with this. This is Michael Bay's best movie since The Rock, in my opinion. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was really good in this movie. He was pretty funny, and who's the other guy? Yaha Abdul Mateen II. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but whatever. But anyways, I thought the action was really good in this movie, especially what they were able to do with the ambulance and the fact that it's 2 guys trying to save a cop from dying of a gunshot, and they're taking this ambulance hostage and the paramedic inside of it. And I just think it's a very fun time at the movie. So yeah, definitely check this one out. A lot of people do think this is Michael Bay's best, and if you didn't have fun with this movie, maybe check it out again, because I think it's actually a very fun movie. So yeah, there's that. Number 14 is a movie that I did also mention in my Blu-ray haul video, and that is Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. I sadly did not watch this in the theaters, and I regret that, but luckily I was able to get the Blu-ray for it, and this is the best horror version of a Marvel movie that we've ever gotten. Sam Raimi definitely brought his Evil Dead flavor to this movie, and I do think that we should definitely get another Doctor Strange movie with Sam Raimi directing, because I do think this was a great return for Doctor Strange. I am a fan of the first one, so this one was definitely a big step up from that first movie. And so yeah, if you love horror, if you love Marvel, this is definitely for you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Wanda does a great job, too. She's like a horror icon in that movie. She's scary at times. Okay. Another movie that did come out this year that I loved, number 13, is going to be Prey. Now, that's the prequel to Predator. It's actually my favorite Predator movie now. Yeah. I was never the biggest fan of Predator growing up because I didn't grow up with it too much. I do enjoy it, and I love Predator 2. Predators is fine. It's just a rehash of what we already got from the first one. And The Predator, a lot of people hated. I don't hate it as much as everybody else does, but I can definitely see why people were disappointed with it. So when they announced Prey, I was like, okay, please do good with this, because this is the one we've been waiting for. A Predator movie set in like the primal era, where it's like, it's like Native Indians against the Predator. Great concept. I thought they achieved it very well. Loved it. Definitely recommend it. My favorite Predator movie by a landslide. Number 12 is going to be Barbarian, the big, like, gross, insane horror surprise that came out this year. The one where it's about the Airbnb and the woman checks in, and then there's horrible stuff that was in the basement of the place that they were checking into. It takes big twists that you never see coming. Like every time when I watched it, I was like, okay, I think they're going this direction. Then all of a sudden they twist and like, nope, we're going this direction. It's like, oh, okay. Definitely recommend that movie. And Disney, do not say we're not getting a Blu-ray release of this, because of them, we're probably not going to get a Blu-ray of this movie, which as a collector, I would love to have it. So why Disney? Why? So definitely recommend Barbarian. If you guys can check it out on streaming, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth your time, and it's full of twists, and it's weird, and it's gross, and it's crazy time at the movies, but I loved it for that reason. Number 11 is going to be The Whale, which is the new Brendan Fraser movie about the 600-pound man who tries to reconnect with his daughter. That was probably my most anticipated movie of the whole year. I was really anticipating this movie because I wanted to see what Darren. I like Darren Aronofsky. I thought his movie Pi was really good. My favorite movie of his is Requiem for a Dream, which a lot of people would be like, "That's a crazy movie about drug addiction." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I like it, because that movie will convince you to never do drugs because of how insane and crazy it is." And I do like Mother. That's crazy. That's a crazy movie. Okay, maybe just liking it is an understatement. I love Mother. I think it's a really good movie about the Bible and stuff like that. But anyway, really like it. I really liked The Whale. I thought it was a really good psychological thriller about a man trying to fix issues that he had with his family, because there was at some point where he left his daughter, and I thought that performances were great. And I do think that the movie was incredibly heartbreaking. Like, this movie is like the polar opposite of what Marcel Show with Shoes On is. Marcel Show with Shoes On, very heartwarming movie, makes you feel good. This movie makes you feel sad and depressed. And it's a movie that I may not rewatch again. This was my favorite movie of the year, but sadly, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't know. But I still loved it. Love the movie. I might get the Blu-ray in the future, but we'll see. But for now, The Whale sits comfortably at number 11. Number 10 is going to be a movie that I was also anticipating this year because I love Steven Spielberg, and that is The Fabelmans, a movie that supposedly kind of is like a pseudo biopic about Steven Spielberg's life, just told through a fictional family, and definitely a movie that would get someone inspired to want to do something and get inspired to do films. And as somebody who wants to be a filmmaker and run a YouTube channel as well, this movie definitely inspired me to keep going. And I'm really happy with what this movie was able to bring to the table. So, The Fabelmans, love it. Definitely recommend it to anybody who loves movies about filmmaking. And if you love Steven Spielberg, always recommend that one. Next up, okay, number 9 is actually going to be Pearl. Now, when we got X earlier this year, I loved it. And then when people announced that we were getting a prequel to this within the same year, I think within 6 months, we got Pearl. Nobody expected this to be as successful as it was. And also, we're getting Maxine. And if Maxine succeeds or is even on the same level as X and Pearl, this might be the best horror trilogy to come out in decades, especially within a 2 year, a year and a half period, because this was a big surprise for me. I really enjoyed the origin story of the main bad guy, Pearl, who was in the original movie. I thought Mia Goth was excellent in this movie. She was also good in X, but I think she's even better here. And also, the 10-minute monologue sequence that happens near the end of the movie is definitely something that the Oscars should not overlook, even though they will, because they don't acknowledge horror films, which I think is stupid. But either way, this is a great prequel about a woman wanting to be an actress and make it big when she suffers from an abusive household and she can't make it. So I just really love this idea, and this movie also made me laugh in quite a few scenes. So definitely recommend Pearl, and I cannot wait for Maxine. So guys, definitely check out Pearl if you haven't. Number 8 is going to be a little film that came out this year that I was anticipating, but didn't know how successful it was going to be, and that is Bones and All, the cannibal romance movie. Yeah, when they said cannibals, I was like, okay, but it's also a romance. I was like, I don't even know what to expect from that. And I gotta tell you, Timothée Chalamet did a great job in this movie as a cannibal person, and some of the actors' names I can't remember in that movie, but Mark Rylance in that movie was fucking creepy. Even when he wasn't on screen for most of the movie, I could still feel his presence, like in the background of certain scenes that were going on. Even when you know that he's not there, I still felt like, oh my god, he's gonna show up again soon. Like, he's a very creepy dude in that movie, and I thought he gave a great performance. He might, I think someone said he might have had a better performance in another movie, but still, loved Bones and All. I thought it was a great cannibal romance cross-country movie, and the ending did have my jaw on the floor a little bit. So I didn't know what to expect from that movie when I was going in. So either way, I'm going to say Bones and All, definitely recommend it, and it's bloody. People say it's gory. I don't think it's gory. I do think it's bloody, though. For me, gory is a ton of blood. This movie has blood in it, so I will say it's bloody. Definitely check it out. If you like cannibal movies, if you like romance movies, give it a shot. You might be surprised by it. Number 7 is going to be the movie that everybody's talking about on Netflix, besides Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and that is RRR, or Triple R. Maybe Triple R is a better way to say it. The movie from India, the one about the two guys who leave their homeland to go fight the British in the 1920s. Yeah, that was a crazy ass movie when I saw it. I knew it was 3 hours long. I knew everybody was talking about it. And when I heard Chris Stuckman's review on it, I knew I had to check it out. And my God, was that movie crazy! It was batshit insane, and it was nuts, and I just loved the chemistry between the two leads, and I just thought it was one of the best Bollywood movies that I've seen in years. And I'm not a big fan of Bollywood. I don't watch too many of their films, either because they're not available or because I just think that sometimes when they incorporate too much dancing in a movie, I think it kind of takes away from the story. But this movie incorporated it perfectly. And you know what? I'm actually more interested in checking out more Bollywood movies after this one. So definitely recommend RRR if you've never seen it yet. It's on Netflix. Check it out. No excuse. Go see it. Number 6 is a movie that I'm surprised still made my list because of how crazy it was, but I found myself understanding it the more that I watched it. Everything Everywhere All at Once. People can no longer complain that originality doesn't exist anymore, or directors are not interested in making original content. Yeah, this movie proves otherwise. Hollywood is coming up with more original content. This is the most original movie that I've seen in years. This movie was crazy. It was insane. I loved it. And I just thought that bringing back, I think this is the kid from, I think this was the guy in the middle. I think he was the kid from, what was it? Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. I think this was him. I think this was him. Correct me if yeah, it probably was him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, I thought his performance was great, and I thought this was the most original batshit movie about parallel universes and just, trying to beat someone who was trying to, take over the universe. And, it's crazy. It's very hard to describe. So this movie, you have to see it to believe it. So definitely check it out. I just check it out. Just see it. It's worth your time. So, yeah. Okay. Number 5. Okay, everybody loves this movie. This movie makes me want to go see more movies similar to this one. Number 5 is The Batman. Yeah, this movie, I didn't have much anticipation for when I first heard about it because I'm not the biggest Batman fan, but I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I own it. See? You can see it right up there. It's the white one right there. Yep. Dark Knight trilogy. And now after watching this, I am more excited to see what Matt Reeves brings to the Batman franchise. Robert Pattinson gives one of the best performances that I've ever seen from the guy, and this was one of his best movies to come out post Twilight, because Twilight was pretty rough, especially for his performance. And yeah, and just so you guys know, I did see all 5 of those movies, and I didn't see the need to, but I was dating this one girl a couple years ago. I was dating this one girl about a year ago, and she forced me to sit down and watch all 5 Twilight films. Not with her, but I watched them all here at home, and it was rough to get through. But anyways, Robert Pattinson gives a terrific performance as Batman. Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Did not see him in this movie. I did not see Colin Farrell playing Penguin. I don't think anyone will ever see it. The Batmobile I thought was really cool. The muscle car. I do prefer the Tumbler from Batman Begins, but either way, this is a great version of the Batmobile that we have gotten. And the only issue I have with this movie is that people say that it's a 3-hour movie that feels like 2 hours. No, for me it does feel like 3 hours, but it's still a really good 3 hours to get through. So would definitely recommend it. And also, yeah, the Riddler, played by Paul Dano, one of the best Batman villains we've ever gotten. I actually prefer him over Heath Ledger's Joker. Yeah, yeah. Kill me for it. Bash me all you want. I don't care. You're not going to change my mind. My opinion is not inferior to yours or above yours. My opinion is just as equal as yours. So yeah, I prefer this Riddler over Heath Ledger's Joker. I know I can't compare the two, but you know what? They're both Batman villains, and which one do I like better? I like this guy better. So, sue me. Go ahead, sue me all you want. I don't give a shit. Okay, so number 4 is going to be another big surprise. If you guys remember Pearl, we got X. Yep, this movie. When I heard what this was about, I was questioning whether or not I should see it, because this is basically a porno horror film. And for some reason, I didn't know what to expect from this. When I told my mom about it after seeing it, I could not tell her to go check this out because, oh yeah, there's some people having sex in here and there's adult stuff in here. But you know what? This movie was funny. I loved the characters in this movie. Everybody was great. And Mia Goth playing two different people was awesome. And I loved how funny these people were and how engaging they were. Because I didn't think these people were annoying by any means. This movie kind of, it has the flavor of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in with it, because yeah, if you've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you can see it sprinkled throughout this whole movie, especially with the van that they're driving and the time period this takes place in. So yeah, definitely recommend this. And again, can't wait for Maxine. Definitely cannot wait for this trilogy to be complete because it's going to be awesome. Number 3 is a movie that I don't own yet, and I'm going to get it when it comes out on Blu-ray. Number 3 is The Menu. That movie about the food critics, the one that takes place in the restaurant on the island. Yeah, that was I wouldn't even call that a horror film. It's more of a dark comedy about the restaurant industry, and just about every joke landed for me. And I'm not even a food critic or a food expert, but you know, I can cook. I can cook stuff up. So I know so I knew just enough for me to be like, okay, maybe I'll get some of the jokes in here. Maybe some of them will be above, maybe it will be above what I'm able to understand. Every joke landed for me. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was great, who, by the way, is another celebrity crush that I have. Anya Taylor-Joy is fucking beautiful. Definitely love her. And so, yeah. So, I can't remember everything about the film because I've only seen it once and I haven't done too much research yet, but definitely recommend The Menu. Check it out. Number 2 is probably everybody's favorite film of the year. Top Gun Maverick. Yep. It might shock some of you to know that I did not have any faith in this movie. I had zero interest in seeing it when they announced the trailer back in 2020 when the pandemic hit. I had zero interest in seeing this because personally, I'm not a fan of the first Top Gun. I don't have the nostalgia for it. I didn't grow up with it. It's an okay movie. I just think that when the characters are talking and they're on the ground, it just doesn't appeal to me. And also, I think that when they focus too much on the romance, it takes away from the action side of the story, and I just can't get into it. So, Top Gun is fine. This movie, however, is fucking amazing. It's phenomenal. This is one of the greatest action movies I've ever seen in my life. I did not expect this movie to be as great as it was. When I heard the early buzz, when I heard two of my favorite critics, Chris Stuckman and Cody Leach, talking about this, saying it was one of the best action movies they had ever seen, I knew that this movie was going to surprise me, and sure enough, it did. This movie did not focus on the romance. When the characters are on the ground talking, it did not detach from the story. It didn't feel forced. It felt natural, and I was just on edge the whole time. So I love Top Gun Maverick. The action scenes and what they were able to do with the planes was incredible. I just loved all of that. Their entire mission, which is what the movie leads up to, was jaw-dropping and intense. My mom and I have seen this twice already, and we love it. My mom and I, she likes Top Gun, and my mom actually said that the people who are, like signaling the planes to get moving, and then when they go, and the planes go, my mom said that that's like on her bucket list to do that. She wants that job. So, can't blame her. This movie's great. Check out Top Gun Maverick if you haven't. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? Get to it. And guys, finally, number 1, my favorite movie of the whole year, the movie that I had the most fun watching, the movie that made me the most happy to go to the movies for. And this might surprise some people, because some people will be like, really? You like that more than Top Gun Maverick? Personally, yes, because it made such good decisions. My number 1 movie of the year, 2022, was The Black Phone. Now, I did read the short story by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. I did read the short story by him, and I thought, okay, let's see how they can make a movie about that. I didn't have too much hope for it, but I love Ethan Hawke, and I knew the story already, so I thought him playing the grabber was a great aspect to this movie, and I just loved all the smart decisions that were made. When the kid is trapped in the basement, he's doing whatever he can to try to get out of this room and avoid the grabber, and the fact that he's using this telephone to communicate with the ghosts of his previous victims who are trying to help him. I was like, oh my god, this movie is on edge. I am just like, I'm so happy that this kid is making good decision after good decision to avoid getting caught or to avoid making a mistake that'll land him in more trouble with the grabber, even though the grabber does eventually catch him at times. He's still smart throughout the movie. And I thought Ethan Hawke as the grabber was great. I even thought the different variations of the mask that he uses throughout the film were excellent too. Like there's a scene where he's wearing just the lower half of the mask as a smile, and it's creepy. There's one where he's only wearing the top eyes, and it was creepy. There's one where he's wearing the whole thing, and there's no mouth. It's just plain. And it's like, if this spawns a franchise, I will actually be on board with it, because I do think that this could be a new horror icon. And I don't think they should just keep it to one single film. But I mean, I'd rather have one single film than have a bunch of sequels that we get that don't even live up to this even closely. So you know what? The Black Phone was the most fun I had in the movies. I did have a lot of horror nostalgia for it, because this would have been a movie that I probably would have discovered if I was a kid and I would have gotten into horror. But to me, this was my favorite film of the year of 2022. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. That's my top 15 movies of 2022. Let me know your list down below. Don't bash my opinion. My opinion is mine. You're not going to change it for whatever. You're not going to change it for any reason. So, guys, just be respectful about it. And guys, let me know your list, and I will see you guys next time. And guys, I'm going to try to upload more this year for 2023. That's been one of my New Year's resolutions, is to upload at least one video a week, because yeah, working full time, it's not that easy, and I can't always, do this, because when I come home from work, I just want to relax. But I'm going to try my best to upload more content for you guys. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.